As we talked about, prior to 2002, this event was known as the PBA National Championship, and Earl Anthony dominated this tournament in the 70s and 80s. He won 6 times. We are set for Doug Kent and Chris Barnes. Doug's wife, Chrissy, watches. Barnes will start. Perfect shot, Norm, on the left lane.
Yeah, that was a great start for Chris. You know, he really missed left in the 10th frame last game. Needed a good shot on this lane just to make sure that it would work right.
Back to Doug Kent. He and his wife Chrissy own 2 bowling centers, upstate New York. Newark, New York, and Canandaigua. Big hook. Look at that, Doug Kent. Just the way he left things off when he beat Danny Wiseman in the first match. That leads us, Randy, to the Ace Hardware matchup. Kent Barnes head-to-head with all of the money and the exemption on the line.
A lot on the line, not only for today, but for the season. 2 guys playing 2 completely different parts of the lane. Lanes will be changing throughout this match. Stay on top of it, make the right adjustments, make the key shots when you have to, and go home with a major.
4-season exemption, $50,000 to the winner. Left lane, Doug Kent. It pushes all right, Doug.
Yeah, Doug Kent just made another Mother May I move left more. Now the big problem is he's got to get the ball to push and to retain all that energy for about 45 feet. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, make that left turn into the pins, Randy. Easier said than done. Now, Chris Barnes decides, I'm going to play that track in the middle part of the lane, not so far on the back end. They're both playing the same part of the lane for their hook, but just in different distances.
Barnes comes in high and has a split. 4-10.
Is that a ball change? Well, Chris Barnes bowled a pretty good game last game. Now, this is a ball change and playing a completely different part of the lane.
Very nice.
So apparently he saw something during warm-ups before this title match that he didn't like, or the lane's changed enough that forced him to do a little bit more of what Doug Kent's doing.
Split numbers, there you see them. 20% to date. Didn't even watch it. Leaves the 10-pin open frame. Chris making his 10th all-time arena appearance. Wow. He's tied for 3rd all-time. The leader, of course, Walter A. Williams Jr. has 18. Parker Bone III, 13. Norm, you've been on arena shows 10 times in your great career. After the shot, I'd like your take on the difference between the big stage here and a regular bowling center. Here's Barnes.
Now that ball behaved just like he wanted it to. On the right lane, it hooked early. I don't think it was much a bad shot on that right lane as it was just the ball hooked early. Now, the difference in an arena and in a regular setting is, for the most part, it's different. It's bigger. There's more echo. There's more things going on. There's more lights. And normally, there's a lot more money at stake. So it's another one of those stepping stones. You just have to be comfortable with it and then step up.
And a big shot, Doug Kent. He's comfortable all right with it. You saw that victory for Doug head-to-head with Chris Barnes back in 2002, won by 53 pins at the Empire State Open.
Release down lane, coming back this way.
That's beautiful, playing the slow wheel.
We talked about versatility, and Doug Kent is just phenomenal at manipulating release. And, you know, obviously when you get in and you're going this from left to right as much as he is, you have to have side rotation. Look at him flip his hand around the side of it. That's what gets the ball to rotate sideways. It's kind of like a car coming off the edge of a sheet of ice with the wheel turned. Well, it's not going to go anywhere until it hits friction. And then once it does, it's going sideways.
On each lane he is in. He's left and really using the big hook against Chris Barnes. He's got a huge lead. Going for his 2nd major this season, Doug Kent. There's Mike Eaton, proprietor at Spectrum Lanes, Wyoming, Michigan. That's in suburban Grand Rapids, where all the competition was held until the TV show. So all the way through the round of 8. It's good to see Mike again. Last year, Patrick Allen won a title in Grand Rapids at Spectrum Lanes. He's won 3 titles in Michigan. Now, we talked about it, guys. History will be made today in some form. Either Chris Barnes becomes the 5th ever to win the Triple Crown, or perhaps it's going to be a double major. 2 majors in a single season for Doug Kent. First time since 02-03 Norm that Walter Ray Williams Jr. turned the trick.
Boy, you think it's not hard to win a major, much less 2 in 1 year? Good luck.
You see some of the names on that list, like Mike Lemongello, and you're right. It is not only is it tough to win 1 major, but forget it, 2 majors. Doug Kent's got a shot at that today.
Barnes has dug himself a huge hole. Can he get out, as he's done before? That's the question. Right lane, 10-pin.
Yeah, and, you know, that's kind of what happens every once in a while when the ball goes high. The next shot, you get up there, you make a little adjustment, and now the ball doesn't hit, and you're leaving the ring in 10.
Nice.
Now, what makes Chris Barnes so good, in my opinion, is the left arm. Notice that it's out in front, but check out the hand that's turned open. What that does is it keeps the left shoulder forward through the whole swing. And when he pulls a shot, he gets away with it because if he's lined up properly, that left arm staying out in front helps project the ball to the right. So when he pulls it, it's a little bit left of target, but it's still going left to right.
Always has been a thing of beauty to watch him bowl. Technically, just so sound.
And that ring 10 there in the 4th frame is the one he really wanted because he made the adjustment, made a good shot, and was looking for a double, and left a ring in 10.
High flush strike. Chris Barnes, 43rd TV appearance since 2000. How about that? Tied with Walter Ray Williams Jr., who has 43 in that time span. And Arnorm Duke, 33 times on TV in the last 7+ years. Not bad.
Well, thank you.
Including last week's win in Indianapolis.
Does that include the commentary?
Well, no.
Unfortunately not.
If that was the case, Norm,
You'd be the all-time leader, Randy.
yeah, I've got like, how many shows do I have this year? Like 19? 20?
Good
Right lane.
year.
There's the first non-strike.
And that was a chance for Doug Kent to pull up 52 pins on Chris Barnes in 5 frames. Not an easy task there, but he'll take this 9 spare. Try to get back on the strikes on the left lane. Get that hammer back.
Cross lane here and take care of the 10-pin. It's difficult to get any more left than he is, especially on that right lane.
No, if he does get farther left than he is right now, then you're going to see a lot more loft. Now, these guys can, and they do often get a lot farther left, but they start lofting the ball, and the more left they move, the more they have to loft it to hit lane, the more they have to curve it. It just gets really good at that point, doesn't it, Randy?
It does. Doug is one of the best at it. Another guy, Robert Smith, can throw it about halfway down the lane and still hit the pocket. A lot of fun to watch.
Left lane. Perfect shot, Doug Kent. We saw a great look from our crew from up above as wife Chrissy watches how far left he is on that lane, too.
Yeah, and you know what? In my opinion, I think Doug's at an advantage because he gets the finish on the left lane, and to me, his ball reaction looks like it's better on that lane.
There's no doubt about it. He's been carrying more on that lane and 2-pinning occasionally on the right lane with the hang.
Doug has struck 5 of 6 frames. Barnes looks for the double here, 6th frame. Cut the deficit to 31. He needs it. Right lane. Big strike.
And Barnes goes back to the ball he used in his first match. Barnes says it isn't over yet, but you have to question the adjustment that he made to start this match. Why would he go away from what worked? Why, Norm, do you go away from something that worked, that you struck with? Don't you stay with it until it doesn't strike anymore and then make the adjustment?
Of course, but Chris Barnes sat there for 4 minutes during the commercial break, went high, 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 high. It did quit working, so he made the adjustment at the front of the game. Now he finds himself having to go back. It's just a confusing time in transition. Looks like he's righted the ship. He's got a double.
Looks for the turkey.
How about
Almost
it?
past 7-10. Instead has a strike and pulls to within 21 pins.
And in no way, shape, or form do I want this to be misconstrued as me second-guessing Chris Barnes. But you have to question the change of bowling balls. And right there, Chris Barnes just gets the biggest break of this entire tournament.
He's alive and well, thank you. Kent works on a strike, 7th frame. To go back up, 31 pins. On the right lane. Big hook. Won't get help on the 10.
That's why I think the left lane's better for Doug Kent. The last 2 shots on that lane, week 10, he's playing the big arc. The ball looks like it pushes or goes down the lane just a little bit farther on the right lane than it does on the left. Norm, what adjustment does Doug make on the right lane?
Well, you know, I don't think he can just soften up and give the ball time to roll up to flush. He'd have to hit flush if he did. The only adjustment I see him making is moving another board to the left and cracking it harder. Try to get it to be more angular at the back end so he can snap that 10. Any kind of drop in ball speed at this point, I think the ball will just tire out and hook out.
Wife Chrissy cheers him on. We saw little Natalie Jane. Doug also has a teenage son Jacob back home watching, a good high school bowler, upstate New York. Eight titles, 8 different seasons. Goes for his 3rd major. In fact, won the 1st World Championship, as it's known, for the PBA National. Randy won one of those.
He also has a Masters that the PBA doesn't count as a major or a title, for that matter.
Eighth frame. 10 pin again.
Another.
Yeah, he threw that one pretty good.
This shot's perfect off his hand. He knows it.
Agony.
That's like a gut shot, man. That's a gut shot. It's like getting punched right in the stomach when you're not looking, knocks the wind out of you. He knows that that was a big hit.
And Barnes knows he's right in the match.
I'll tell you what, guys, now, if both guys strike out from here,
It's a tie.
it is a tie, 248, 248.
And Doug Kent knew that when he got up there on that left lane. He says, anything less than a strike, I'm either a loser or can be loser or with the tie. You have to stay ahead of your opponent no matter what, should you both strike out.
Well, he's still ahead, and the onus is still on Chris Barnes to catch him. And we'll see what happens now with this ball change that he made, going back to what he used originally on this right lane.
Randy boxed there. Didn't like it. Trying for a 4-bagger. What happened there, Randy?
Well, I think it's just a case of a little overthinking again. And, you know, we haven't seen Chris do a whole lot of that this year on television. In fact, that may be the first balk that I can remember. But I think that happens a lot of times when Chris just gets to thinking just a bit more than he needs to. Let's get up there, look at your target, man, let it fly.
Which he does perfectly.
Yeah, and that might be the difference in the Chris Barnes now and the Chris Barnes before, is the ability to stop in midstream and then come back, collect yourself, and get up there and throw the shot that you're looking for. In past, it might have been that he just stood up there, was a little scattered in the mind, and left a 4-pin or a 10-pin or something.
Yeah, his mental makeup now, it's different. You can see it. And the results are different.
His first ever title came in this arena setting, 99, Erie, Pennsylvania.
And this strike would bring everything to all square.
Wow. Looks for 5 straight.
Randy, he got that ball down in the lane early. He could almost hear the ball.
So, Norm, you think he speared that one into the lane just a little bit more than he wanted to?
I do. I think he got it down just a little earlier, and the ball didn't hold that that spiral.
Perfect single pin pickups. Will remain that way with a 4-pin there. Has the spare, but could have tied the matchup with a strike.
Well, in order for Doug Kent to shut out Chris Barnes, he's going to need either a double, 9th and 10th frame, or a mark in the 9th and a double in the 10th.
Guys, with the lanes next week, coverage of the Denny's PBA Tour continues. Tournament of Champions, 1 o'clock Eastern time from the Mohegan Sun, Uncasville, Connecticut, in the Hartford area. Different start time than we had here today. 1 Eastern next week, final event of our season. It's a major as well. Norm will be there competing. Field of 32.
Oh, no.
Wide.
Well, we've heard 2 oh-no's for strikes today. Chris Barnes, the last match, and now Doug Kent.
Doing better than that right there.
Yeah, you heard him say on the shot prior to this that he pured it. This one, no, he didn't pure it.
Well, how does he get back from there then?
Well, that's where they started playing when they first started this telecast. And now, I guess, unbeknownst to the players, they can get it out there and get full recovery.
And with the first strike here in the 10th frame, Doug Kent will win his 2nd major of the season.
He likes it.
He's got it! Doug Kent wins his 2nd major of the year. $50,000.
Let it go. All you got to do is let it go.
And a 4-season
All you gotta
exemption.
do is let it go.
It was Chris Barnes, a great shot.
All you got to do is let it go.
And he's still going to play this big hook. You know, I'd be throwing it right at the head pin at this time, not trusting myself to miss one and leak it. But he's Doug Kent. That's what he does.
All right.
He's wrapped it up.
And talk about a muddy picture for Player of the Year. You're going to have to throw Doug Kent's name into that hat.
Yes.
Doug Kent has done it with wife Chrissy watching and her mother. Chrissy lost her father to cancer earlier this season.
Yeah, and he just trumped a whole lot of players.
Dedicating that to her father, Roger.
Dry the tears. We're good.
He just trumped a lot of players for Player of the Year right there with 2 majors in 1 season. That's going to be hard to beat. A lot of guys are going to be looking to win next week, maybe to catch him.
Whew. As good as it gets right here.
For the first time in his career, Doug Kent wins 2 titles in a season. Which 2? Majors.
Right here. Right there. You see that right
USBC Masters and the Denny's World Championship.
there? Right bone.
Without question, a viable candidate for Player of the Year. Doug Kent, Newark, New York, bringing the title home to upstate NY. The Denny's World Championship is brought to you by Denny's. Denny's always works. By Bear, the more you know, the more you trust Bear. By Atonic, the official footwear of the PBA. Atonic, first one there. And by Go RVing. Visit GoRVing.com for a free DVD. What will you discover? Go RVing. What a time of celebration for the Kent family. Little daughter Natalie, Doug's wife Chrissy, and Doug Kent 2 major championships in one season. First time ever won 2 titles in 1 year. In the big stage, how are you able to step up and come through?
You know, Dave, I changed my timing earlier in the year, and this was a pattern that I had to go back to what I used to do best. And you know, I recognized it early in the week, and you know, I just tried to get into a good rhythm, and I did, and I got into a great frame of mind again, like I did earlier in the year, and I just started repeating a lot better, and things started falling.
3 shows, 2 titles, 2 majors. How do you evaluate your chances for Player of the Year?
It's got to be up there. I don't know. You know, you don't think about that, you know, going all through the year, but when something like this happens and you're in the race, you start thinking about that. But, you know, you just try not to think too far ahead. But I think I'm definitely in a race, and that would be a great honor.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Doug Kent wins a major championship today here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Don't forget, next week, Doug and the rest of the bowlers, 32 Bowler Field Tournament of Champions, Uncasville, Connecticut. Note the special start time, 1 o'clock Eastern. We'll see you then from just outside Hartford. Doug Kent wins his 2nd title of the season and takes his 2nd major, and you have to put him right in the middle of the mix for Player of the Year honors. It's been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Now for the entire crew, Norm Duke, Randy Peterson, it's Dave Ryan saying so long from Grand Rapids. Coming up next, World Cup of Trick Shots here on ESPN. Congratulations to Doug Kent.